Hey people, welcome back to a very cold and windy and blustery Port Shepstone. I hope the wind is not driving you crazy on this machine. But we're talking about righteousness. I kind of got a bit distracted yesterday by that beautiful aspect of God picking us up and walking beside us. Never will He abandon us. I want to talk about what righteousness is right now. If yesterday we said behavioral perfection is not what righteousness is, what, pray tell, is righteousness? Three things very quickly. Firstly, righteousness is a response to an invitation. Parable in Matthew chapter 20, Jesus spoke about the wealthy man who had a feast, invited a whole bunch of people. Wrong people didn't want to come, so Jesus went out and got the right people, those who desired after him. And these guys came to the party. There was one there who didn't have the righteous garment. And the king went to him and said, "Hey, where's your garment?" And the guy said, "Oh, I thought the one I had was good enough." And the king freaked out, kicked him out, and said to the guards, "Throw this man out. He's not dressed appropriately." You see, in order for you to be righteous, you've got to have responded to the invitation, first of all. And secondly, you've got to be wearing the robe that God has given you. It's a robe that covers your sin. It's a robe where it doesn't even cover your sin, for goodness sake, don't listen to that. It's a robe that is replacing the old one you used to wear. It's a robe that takes away the robe of sin and the robe of failure and the robe of self-help and the robe of self-discipline. Those are worth nothing. Apparently, the Bible tells us those robes are like filthy rags to God. They mean nothing. They are of no good to you at all. The only thing that is good for you in the context of responding to God's invitation is the righteousness of the robe that He wants to give you, which takes away your sin and gives you that righteousness that gains you access into the very presence of God Himself. Now, the question is, are you wearing that robe? Have you got it? Or are you still wearing your old patched up one with religious behavior and just trying to impress God with what a nice kind of person you are? He's not impressed at all. He says you've got to wear the robe of righteousness. Your good intentions to be good are just not good enough. So make sure, people, you've come. Receive the robe of righteousness that He gives you when you arrive at the cross and you see Jesus hanging there, and He's hanging there for you to take away your sins, to give you that wonderful robe. First of all, I hope you've responded to the invitation. He's made it. For God so loved the world. I presume you are part of the world. And He invites you, as John 3:16 says, to come into a beautiful relationship with Him. Receive His robe. And when you get to heaven one day, that's your only entry qualification. Are you wearing the robe of righteousness? Not the robe of good works, that's worth nothing. The robe of good intention, that's worth nothing. The robe of righteousness is where it's all at. But here's the deal. Once you receive that robe, then your behavior will change. It has to change. Because now you have a new identity. You see, in the Bible, your identity was sometimes determined by the robe that you were wearing. If you were wearing a brown garb, you were regarded, that's a slave's robe. If you were wearing a kingly robe of purple, then you were a king. And so your robe determined and showed the people what your status was. And so when Jesus said, you've got to lay all those down and take on my robe of righteousness, your behavior will be determined by the robe that you wear. So when you own the robe of righteousness, when you wear it, your behavior all of a sudden is going to take on a completely new look. I hope that that behavior is yours. If it's not, then check out that you're wearing the robe. Have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody.